to us.
Alright everybody, welcome on board the Studio Tour Tram. As you make your way down the escalators, straight ahead, main entrance for the tour for Express as well. So if you have an Express pass, use it here at the yellow sign. Keep in mind guys, the Studio Tour is about 1 hour in length, so if you need restrooms are down here too. You're more than welcome to bring food and drinks on the tour as well, so feel free to do that. Snacks available downstairs for purchase at the snack station. Snacks.
Short, everything like your cameras out, you never know who you might see. Hollywood's biggest stars, they come to work here every single day. Let's wave goodbye. We're leaving the theme park behind, heading down to the studio
Hi everybody. Hey, welcome aboard. We're going to start bringing the gates down on the left side of the tram in just a moment. So if you're sitting on the far left side, if your gates are still up, just watch your sides. Keep your hands and feet clear as we lock the gates. We're going to be doing some special effects on the tour in 3D. So if you climbed aboard and you don't have a pair of 3D glasses, we haven't left yet, raise your hand and we'll bring you some. Does anybody need 3D glasses? Okay. Good. How's that, Rob? All good? Okay, thank you. Don't wear the 3D glasses yet. If you've got the 3D glasses on and you're looking at the monitors, that does nothing. The monitors aren't in 3D, but you're going to want them for King Kong 360 3D and Fast and Furious Supercharged. I promise I'll let you know when it's time to put the glasses on. If you're riding with children whose legs are hanging off the seats and their feet don't quite reach the floor of the tram, we do prefer that they're at least a seat or two away from the gates. I know it's tempting to put them right next to the gates, but there will be some special effects. We're going to bounce, we're going to shake. We want to make sure your children are safe, so smaller children towards the center. Now, we've been giving tours of our movie studio since 1964. And that means this year we're celebrating 60 years of the studio tour. When we first started bringing guests around the park, we were riding around on these old red and white glamour trams, but we've evolved quite a bit since then. Now we've got these onboard video systems. The cool thing about the video monitors, when we're riding around, we're passing by all the movie sets, I can show you scenes from movies and television. Or just keep an eye on your items so don't get wet. Because you're sitting pretty close to people on the tram, please don't use selfie sticks. Don't put your phone on a pole and hit people in the head while you're taking a video of yourself. I'm going to bring up a celebrity on the monitors. He's going to give our tour a quick introduction. He's the host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thanks, Jimmy. There's a lot of construction going on the left side of the tram. We're building a new roller coaster that's going to be Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift. That opens tomorrow. A lot of work to do overnight. 2026. We're a little under 2 years away. We're going to cover about 400 acres on the tour. Usually runs under an hour, about 50 minutes average. That's a real fire station. Those are real firefighters. Those are real heroes that work here on the lot out of Station 51. We started the studio back in 1914. That's when the company moved to California. And on March 15th, 1915, Carl Laemmle, our founder, invited the public into the studio and they could watch silent movies being filmed. But then they invented sound for film. They needed quiet on the set and the original tour ended. It wasn't until July 15th, 1964, under the leadership of Chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, we brought the studio tour back. So we continue that tradition today as we take you around to show you where we do our productions. This first sound stage, we passed by left, stage 12, Frankenstein, filmed in that stage, 1931. The inside of the laboratory where Frankenstein built the monster was in stage 12. Dracula, also filmed inside that stage. All of these movies filmed in that stage. Soundstage 11 on the left side of the tram, the doors are open, and you might see some sets inside for the HBO Max series Hacks, which won the Emmy this year for Best Comedy Series. Jean Smart, who stars on the show, won the Emmy for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. That's on HBO Max. We've got the last two stages on the left, 8 and 7, that are used for Bel Air, which streams on Peacock. Bel Air isn't filming today. They're currently on hiatus, which is their break in between seasons. But they've got people inside the stages getting the sets ready for when the show returns for season 4. These are two of the stars of the show, Jabari Banks and Ollie Charlatan, to welcome us to this part of the studio.
We're leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination could take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
or what.
you'll see on the studio tour.
And Bel Air also uses Soundstage 14. What they just said about never knowing who or what you're going to see is absolutely true, because we are riding around a movie studio right now. It's not uncommon for us to sometimes see celebrities as we're passing by the backlot sets or the sound stages. Guests on the tram will normally see famous people before I do. I'm facing backwards. So if you guys see somebody famous, point at them and yell at them and take their picture. I think they like when people do that. I'm not 100% sure. Be on the lookout for people driving by in golf carts and in vans. That's how they get people from the sound stages to the backlot sets. The stages that we're passing by over on the right are used for a mystery comedy series that streams on Peacock called Based on a True Story. And it's with Kaylee Cuoco, who had been on Big Bang Theory, and Chris Messina, and they're currently working on season 2. Now here's something for the kids on the tram. I want to know if the children know who the statues are in front of stage 18. Who are they? They are minions, but what are their names? Kevin. Kevin is a minion, but he wasn't one. Bob? Stewart. Bob and Stewart. What movie did Bob and Stewart just star in this year? No Minions. Despicable Me. What number? 4. Despicable Me 4. That's another one of our family films, Ted, which the children are. Did you kids see the movie Ted? How old are you? 6? Oh, okay. Watch it when your parents aren't home. You'll learn new words. Don't do that. We are doing a Ted TV series on the lot. They're doing season 2. I'll tell you a little bit more about that show later because we're going to be passing by some of their sets. But now we're driving by the offices for the directors and the producers and the writers. Someone who has an office here in the front lot is Mark Platt, who's the producer of our upcoming film Wicked. And this is the director of Wicked, John M. Chu.
Hey, Studio Tour. You're seeing a lot of behind-the-scenes movie-making magic today, showing you up close how filmmakers, like me, bring our dreams to the big screen. After your tour, the magic of Wicked continues at Universal Studios Hollywood, where you can experience photo ops, props, and costumes from the film, and fun bites and drinks from Shiz and Emerald City. But first, here's a look at Wicked.
Come with me to meet the wizard.
I couldn't trust me. This is your moment. I'm coming.
If you think that's something to see, maybe see this. You're good.
You're very good.
Wicked, rated PG.
Don't miss Wicked only in theaters, including our own Universal Cinema on City Walk beginning November 22nd. Lopez vs. Lopez is filming today inside Soundstage 25 with George Lopez and his daughter Mayan. They're working on season 3, and we've got a brand new NBC comedy, St. Denis Medical. Wave at them. They wave first. It is the polite thing to do. St. Denis Medical, a new NBC comedy, takes place in a hospital with David Allen Greer and Wendy McClendon Covey, and they film inside this last soundstage on the left. There's a billboard for the new show right above the door. I'm going to tell you about the sets on the left a little bit later. I'm not ignoring them. I'll get to them soon. But right now, I want to talk about this building on the right side of the tram because this is the entrance to Skull Island where King Kong lives.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. Action! I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up an adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Hold on to your belongings, remain seated at all times, and put on your 3D glasses. We're driving through Skull Island. Go ahead and take off your 3D glasses. Hold on to those glasses. You're going to want them later for another special event. I'll let you know when it's time to put them on again. Now that we're leaving King Kong, we're going to move away from the front lot where we've got the offices and most of the sound stages, and we're going to cross the border into the back lot.
We're about to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoors. Over the last 60 years, Studio Tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro sets.
The Metro sets, off to the left side of the tram, this is just the beginning of the back lot. This is where we go for the rest of the tour, past sets that are too big to go inside the sound stages. We can make this part of the back lot look like different cities, different states, and different time periods. A good example of that, we're currently getting that area prepared for the TV show Ted. And the series is a prequel to the movies. And we've got 2 films directed by Seth MacFarlane. The TV show takes place in Boston in the 1990s. They've been using our backlot sets for that. Seth MacFarlane co-produces the show. He directs the show. He's the voice of Ted. And he wants to tell you a little bit more about it.
Hi everyone, Seth MacFarlane here, and I'm excited to share with you a behind-the-scenes look at my Peacock original event series, TED. It's a prequel series set in 1993. That means our skilled craftspeople had to build a high school, a house, and even recreate downtown Boston as it looked back in the day, using exterior sets and facades that you're about to see on the tour. But I should warn you, TED is intended for mature audiences only. So grown-ups, tell the kids to go in the other room before you watch. Oh, come on!
That streams on Peacock, produced by UCP, Universal Content Production, so they're getting the area off to the left side of the tram ready for that. Along with the TV show Ted, we've got another Ted that's been filming out in this part of our backlot. Ted Danson has a new Netflix series, A Man on the Inside, which streams a little bit later this month on Netflix. The Monster Mural on the right side of the tram celebrates over 100 years of monster movies that have filmed on our backlot, starting back in 1923 when they built sets for the original Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. And then they'd use those same sets later for Frankenstein and the Wolfman and Dracula. Before we get to the sets where they made those movies, we're passing by some stages off to the left. There's a very recognizable V painted under stage 30. That's where we filmed The Voice. The Voice uses both 30 and 31, and our 4 voice coaches for the latest season are Reba McEntire, Gwen Stefani, Michael Bublé, and this guy.
Hey, Studio Tour, it's your boy Snoop Dogg. Did you know that the Universal Backlot is home of The Voice? That's right. We tape right here on stage 31. Don't miss our incredible new season every Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
Hello. Now that you've heard the rest, you can hear the best. You can be with the S and have this on your chest.
Snoop joins The Voice Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
Reba McEntire, another one of the voice coaches this season, also is filming her new comedy series on the lot today, Happy's Place, and they film inside the sound stages right next to where they do the voice. We had a comedy series that had filmed on our lot for 4 years, The Good Place. And that starred Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. And they did a lot of the scenes inside of our sound stages. But whenever you saw the characters walk around outside The Good Place, they had filmed over here on the right side of the tram. This is a part of our backlot called Little Europe. And these are some of the scenes from The Good Place that use these sets.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on.
I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
I'm gonna pause this for 2 reasons. First reason, to explain who these people are walking around The Good Place. They're taking a VIP tour. If you take the VIP tour, sometimes you get off the vehicle, walk around our backlot sets. We stop every now and then throughout the tour to give you time to take pictures, but they get off the vehicle. The other reason I paused the clip is there's a set right in front of the tram. One of the doors is open. It's got 2 blue doors. It has red trim around the windows. This is where they filmed this scene from the first episode of the show.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
If you've never seen an episode of The Good Place, it's possible you've seen these sets in our horror classes, because these are the sets that were built for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman. That courtyard on the right, that's where we would shoot the scenes in all those movies where the big mob of angry villagers would gather with the torches and the bloodhounds before they would march through the village, hunting down monsters played by Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney. At this point, we are a little past the halfway mark of the tour. We've got about 20, possibly 25 minutes left. Whenever we get around to this area, we always give everybody on the tram a reminder to remain seated throughout the tram ride. If you have an emergency, you drop something over the side of the tram, don't jump off the tram. We're riding around private property. Just pull that red cord above you. This house that they're standing in front of right now, nobody lives in that house. Can you imagine living there and trams are driving through your front yard all day? That's a set that was originally built for a talk show. That was created for Home and Family, which it aired on the Hallmark Channel. Now we use it for Bel Air. But it's not the house where the main characters live, like Will and Uncle Phil. That's the influencer's house on the show. Most of the sets that we're driving past on the tour are not full buildings, they're facades. They're outer shells. They'll build the fronts of the sets and the sides of the sets. They make them look very realistic, but they're basically empty on the inside. So if you're watching a movie or a TV show and a character walks through the front door of one of our backlot sets, when they step inside the building, they'll turn and they'll close the door and they cut. They stop filming and they don't do the interior scenes inside these sets. On another day, they go inside of a soundstage, because inside the stages, they have a lot better control over the weather, the lighting, the sound. Our stages are about 90 to 95% soundproof. We're gonna head up the hill to a very peaceful part of our backlot. It's a little island called Amity, and Amity is a word that means friendship. There's a billboard on the monitors right there. Amity Island welcomes you. You can see it over on the left side of the tram. But the Amity Police Department wanted us to close the beach for a little bit. We had shark attacks. We caught a shark. It's hanging in front of the hotel. Even though we caught the shark, they still don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another shark. And it's a bigger shark. And it's lurking right in the middle of the water. That shark has stopped in an unnatural fashion. Oh, there's a scuba diver. The shark is right in front of them. All right. Oh, okay. The shark ate him. Yay! This is a very old dock that we're driving across. So everybody, please remain seated. We'll stop behind these barrels filled with gasoline. The shark took the dock. It's right next to us. Jaws next year. That movie turns 50 years old. Came out in the summer of 1975. That's not the shark that Steven Spielberg used for the film. Our shark works better than his. When they were filming, they built several sharks. None of them would work very well. For the next special effect that we're going to see, on the monitors, I'm going to bring up today's show co-host and weather anchor Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968.
the flash flood. We're stopping to demonstrate some very simple weather effects. We have sprinklers hidden in the trees, so this is how we can create rain on a set. The problem with this special effect, we do it all day, and the set is built on a hill. And over the course of the day, a lot of that water builds at the top of the hill, and at one point it overflows, and all the water rushes down, and it creates a flood. There's been a couple times the flood has hit one of the trams as we're driving through. This morning, we are that tram. Be careful if you're over on the left side, there's a flood coming. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Wait a minute! There we go. Now look up at one of the monitors. This is the special effect as seen in the film Big Fat Liar.
You can't outrun a wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, buddy,
In the 1980s, they used this little Mexican village for Three Amigos. Paramount used it for Nacho Libre with Jack Black. Then when we leave the Mexican village, we cross the border into the Old West. They had recently done a photo shoot and some interviews out in this part of our backlot for the movie Wicked. John M. Chu, the director of the film, got his start here at Universal, but probably not in the way that you think. Take a look at the monitors up here. Many years ago, we had a show in the theme park called Screen Test Comedy Theater, where volunteers were selected from the audience to participate in a live production demonstration, and then guests could take home a video of their performance. And if you look closely at the scene and the cast of this old Western bank robbery, that's little frightened security guard, 8-year-old John M. Chu. So who knows? Maybe the next big director is riding around on our tram right now. Why is everyone looking at you? Is it going to be you? Are you going to be a director? Not quite sure yet. You've got time. You're only 6. You've got time to figure that out. This is where we had done movies over the years with cowboys like John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Kirk Douglas, Clint Eastwood. Quentin Tarantino used this part of a backlot for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In the film, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is an actor, and he's working on a Western TV show. So they shot the Western sequences out here. And there was a horror movie, kind of suspense horror movie that was released this summer that used our backlot sets, Maxine, with Mia Goth and Kevin Bacon. That's a A24 production. They did a chase all over our backlot. They did the Little European sets, the Western Town, our New York City street sets. They ran all over our backlot. We're going to be driving past the Jaws attraction again. We're not going to drive through it. This time we're going to take another path through another part of the studio. And since Steven Spielberg directed the film, I'm going to have him tell you a little bit more about our attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created.
I'm going to bring Steven Spielberg back in just a moment. We're driving by a house over on the right side of the tram from a pretty popular horror movie, House of 1,000 Corpses. It was written and directed by Rob Zombie, but the set was originally built for the musical comedy The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Burt Reynolds and Dolly Parton. They're preparing the neighborhood on the left side of the tram for some of the scenes for the TV show Ted. That's the neighborhood where he lives. For 8 years, that street was Wisteria Lane on the ABC Touchstone series Desperate Housewives. That's where Ted lives now. There are statues on the left side of the tram, the Lion Estate statues from the Back to the Future films, executive produced by Steven Spielberg. And our relationship with Spielberg goes all the way back to the very beginning of the studio tour.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom. And when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left. And then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot.
Now, there's things to talk about on both sides of the tram. I'm going to start on the left side of the tram because a lot of these vehicles are from Steven Spielberg Productions, except for the vehicles from the Fast and Furious films. Steven Spielberg didn't produce those movies. He did produce Transformers. We've got a Bumblebee parked over there. The sets that are on the right side of the tram, they're currently striking them. They're taking them down. We had built these for Halloween Horror Nights. We had used this area as part of the Terror Tram. They had built these sets right in front of the Bates Motel and House from Psycho. The Bates Motel, this is run by Norman Bates, and he lives in a creepy house at the top of the hill behind the motel. We're going to be driving right by his home. He goes mad sometimes.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
That's true, I suppose. Norman doesn't like when trams drive by his house. Unfortunately, he's standing out on the front porch, and he does not look happy to see us. Norman, there's a set in your backyard. I want to show the people in the tram. Is it okay if we just pass it? Norman, Norman, put that knife away. Go back in the house. Norman, don't walk towards the tram with the knife. Hey, I will tell your mother. Don't stab people. What do you get to the airplane? That's a sharp knife. An airplane crashed right behind Norman's home. Norman didn't have anything to do with this. Aliens did this. This is a set that was built for Paramount's War of the Worlds.
Letting anyone into the surrounding areas and all aircraft have been grounded. On the other side of town,
a set that is all designed around a vision that Steven means that to sit down and talk about the War of the World. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big river? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're good. At this time, we are all fighting for our lives.
This is your first choice, okay? I'm close.
We are expecting the president to address the nation and updates from his visit to the UN yesterday morning. After declaring a worldwide state of emergency 2 nights ago, the president has said
Get in. That was a real plane. They got a full 747 and ripped it apart for the movie. People got paid to rip an airplane apart. We're going to drive through one more movie set, one more special effect, and head back to the theme park. So we're almost home, but for the next few moments, we're still riding around on private property. So if you drop an item off the side, if you've got an emergency, pull that red cord above you and remain seated. The last movie set we're going to drive through is Jupiter's Claim. This is a town that was built for the suspense film Nope, written and directed by Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the Wicking Well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of gold.
Everybody, well, we were stopped for a moment. I was getting a call from our security department. I'm going to be right back. I'm sorry, security. Go ahead.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened?
You just cut out.
Secure line. Who are you?
Oh.
I'll tell you who I am, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.9 seconds ago, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are?
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. If Shaw's as ruthless as they come, he'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
Agent Hobbs just rerouted our tram into this building to hide from Owen Shaw. There's no need to put on your 3D glasses right now. We're just going to hide until it's safe to go back outside. It actually works out in our favor. They brought us here to hide, and there's a party going on in the building. Oh, and there they are. All right, I'm going to be back a little bit later. I'm required to get off the train to join them.
Everybody out! The FBI! Turn that music off!
What are we supposed to be doing?
This is what we're doing. This is the race day after party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got you. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of this.
See what I'm talking about?
Call me back.
Oh, man.
It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Hobbs can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
To go catch up with them? Now is a good time to put your 3D glasses on. Get ready, according to what Dom just said. Owen Shaw's getting pretty close to finding us in here.
Which one of you is the
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime! Come to the left! This thing ain't moving fast enough! Roman, Lenny, hook him up!
Hit it!
Now we're moving!
Stop! Look out! You give me the witness to it or we call it a day! The witness is mine, Lenny!
How about you eat asphalt?
Don't think you're getting away! Call it the drugs!
Way to go, Lenny! Not gonna happen! Don't worry, I got this! Hit the nitrous!
We're not gonna make it!
Ride or die!
That is Fast and Furious Supercharged. Did we do okay?
Good job, everybody. You protected the witness, and you can resume breathing.
You know it's crazy out there. You guys ride hard.
You know, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it. That's it. The bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
Well, now we're heading back to the theme park, and you can continue your movie making experience by going on rides that are based on your movies and shows. As we take you back one last time, I'm going to hand things over to Jimmy Fallon.
Over the past 6 decades, the studio tour has taken guests on an amazing behind-the-scenes look at a movie studio in a way that only Universal can. I hope that you had a great time today, and on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
Thank you, Jimmy. I also want to thank all of you for celebrating 60 years of the studio tour with us. The studio tour, this is where it all began for Universal destinations and experiences. Next year, we're going to be opening Universal Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida. I want to thank our annual pass holders for coming back and joining us today. And if you're not a pass holder and you'd like to be one, you can stop by the Universal box office, find out how you can upgrade today's ticket into an annual pass. Allows you to come back and join us again and again. And plan to come back this April for Universal Fan Fest nights. It's an all-new after-hours event that will immerse you in the worlds of the best of fantasy, gaming, anime, cosplay, and sci-fi, including Back to the Future. To find out more, you can visit universalstudioshollywood.com. On behalf of our driver, Yegan, and myself, Paul, and all of us here at Universal Studios Hollywood, we hope you've enjoyed our exclusive behind-the-scenes experience, 60 years in the making. Tonight, we're going to stay open until 10 o'clock, and as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap. Thanks for taking the tour, everybody. Have a good time. Thank you. I had so much fun. I'm going to go do it again. We do recycle the 3D glasses. There are bins right next to the tram. Please drop your glasses in one of those as you pass by.